Hey y'all, it's Diamond here, your host of the Creative Women Wanted podcast. This podcast is for the Black girls working behind the scenes in scripted and unscripted television to create our favorite things to watch. It's a community, it's a safe space for us to talk about our stories, our journeys, what we're watching, what we're reading, and what we are learning. And today, I am talking about what I'm watching. I love talking about TV. At some point soon, I'm going to host a TV club where we literally talk about TV the way people talk about books in a book club, okay? Wouldn't that be fun? That's on my list of things to do. Would y'all be down for that? Let me know. So I'm watching a few things that I'll talk about today, and that is Rap Shit, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Big Brother, Dwayne Wade's Life Unexpected documentary on Disney Plus, and I'm currently watching the docuseries The Captain that is featuring Derek Jeter, the all-time one of the greatest baseball players. So first, I am going to start with Rap Shit. Issa is back. Hooray is back. The kids is back. And the show is phenomenal. Like, it's so great. And I didn't expect anything less from Issa Rae Diop, okay? I was excited. Like, I'm excited for us to dive into this world of rap girls, right? I mean, it's something that we're inundated with in the music industry. Like, we all got our rap girls, on our playlist. We might be hotties, we might be city girls, and so it's really fun to dive into this world of Black girls trying to make it as rap girls. Um, so of course there's a few spoilers here, but I'm gonna dive right in. So I want to say the introduction is fire. Like, the introduction to the actual show is really dope. I love the details as it relates to social media. Like, I love that we're getting to see and learn more about these characters through the lens of their social media profiles, specifically through Instagram, because I do think that is where, as a 30 something year old, as a 32-year-old specifically, I have learned to, like, share my life, share my experiences. So I think it's really cool that we get to learn about these that we get to learn about the girls on the show through the lens of their social media, and not just them, right? Their friends and other people that are involved in the story. I think that it's authentic too. It just feels real, it feels fun, and it feels relatable in a way that I haven't seen before. I also appreciate the directing so much. Like, I think her name is Sade Clacken Joseph. I want to talk to her one day on the podcast, but I appreciate the way she seamlessly goes from the social media account to the real world. I think that is so beautiful. And I like that they're talking about real stuff. My partner is a rap girl. She's a rapper. She's an artist. She's great. And she could really relate to it. One of the things that they talk about is the rap industry and how a lot of what we see in the rap industry, especially as it relates to being a Black woman in the industry, is the same thing over and over again, right? Like, the very curvy, very like, like, I don't know, very, very, like, what am I trying to say? How would I describe it? I mean, like, all the girls, they dress alike, they dress real sexy, and that's very cute. But there's other types of rap girls out there, and I'm really excited to see how they explore that part. Um, I also like Shauna's conversation with her boy, how she mentioned that, the idea of feeling behind and other people being on track, right? Like, so as a creative, we don't have a path. We don't have a ladder that we can climb, right? And that's what Shauna is discussing. Like, as someone who's pursuing rap, there's no ladder to climb like that of her boyfriend, who, is in a very specific program and has a very specific path. He knows all of his next steps. And as creatives, as a rapper, as, people who are in this industry, television, music, whatever, like, we got to figure it out. We out here figuring it out. So I love that they are having real conversations, and I really just enjoy the storytelling overall. Um, and I like that they're working jobs. That's one of the things that Sydney mentioned, was that I love that they are showing have jobs on the side or how they're hustling. Like we're really getting to see their grind. So it's going to be exciting to see how things evolve. And I really was so caught up in the story that I forgot that I was watching something that I hadn't seen before. Like that I was watching rap shit, that I was watching something new. I was just so caught up because it was just so well done. And I have to say, I love seeing people from Insecure. It's just so fun. So rap shit, I give it a 10 out of 10. I'm really excited uh to keep watching it. Next up, I want to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I had a lot of seasons within this 14 seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta that I did not watch, right? So there's a lot of things that I missed. There's a lot of like references that I missed. And I didn't watch it because I was like, I don't like the way we're being portrayed. It just felt like, I don't know, I didn't like it. I was very strongly like aligned with the fact that I didn't want to watch this kind of television. But now, with Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Potomac specifically, like I can enjoy them for what they are. And they're fun. It's fun to see black girls, having fun with each other, starting new businesses. Like it's just fun to like be in a different world. And that's what, even though I lived in Atlanta, it's fun to like see the lives of these women in Atlanta. And I think this season is getting really deep. Like I'm excited to see the girls being more vulnerable. I'm excited to see them sharing more of their stories. Like I'm excited that we get to see Marlo's experience and that she is being vulnerable about like deciding like, yo, I had to take a break from my nephews. And I know there's a lot of like judgment around whether or not she should have done that, but I can't imagine, one day, thinking my nephews are staying with me for a few weeks and then they stay for a few years. Like there's so much to learn, especially in Marlo not being a mom. So I think she deserves a lot of grace. I'm excited though about all of their journeys and just seeing them like grow together and have fun together and like Kenya be so light and free and being drunk, at the party. And I really am excited about Sheree. I'm excited to see this runway show towards the end of the season, okay? But Real Housewives of Atlanta is keeping my attention. I love television series. Like I'm a television girl, I'm an episodic girl, so it's nice to have something to watch every week and to catch up on every week. A lot of my shows are like either off air permanently or off air into the fall. So I really do enjoy Housewives every Sunday. So if you're watching Housewives, let me know. What do you think of this season? The other thing I am watching is Big Brother. Big Brother comes on so many times a week. And I started watching again last season because of The Cookout. The Cookout was this six-person Black alliance that started towards the very early part of the season, and they end up making it to the final six. It was going to be the first time a Black person ever won Big Brother. So it was super dope to watch that season and to see how the alliance really remained strong and got to the final six. Like, it's such a dope show. And if you're not familiar with Big Brother, it's like Survivor, but they are inside a house and there's like all these cameras attached to the walls. And, there's no like handheld cameras around. So these people are really living in this house for a specific period of time and they have to go through challenges in order to become like head of household, in which you get an opportunity to put people on the block so that they can be voted out. It's such a fun competition show. It's like one of my favorites. I used to watch it when I was like in high school and then I paused for a minute, but I'm watching this season because I know somebody on the show. Her name is Jasmine. She is a Leo too. She is a creative entrepreneur. She is a Black girl, a really dope Black girl. She is on this season. So if you are watching this season or want to watch this season of Big Brother and you need somebody to root for, let's root for Jasmine. She is the head of household now as I am recording this, but next week she may or may not be. Well, she won't be because she can't, but she's head of household. She's doing such a great job. I'm really excited for her. So if you need a new show to watch, it comes on like 3 times a week. If you need a new show to watch, it's on CBS. It's called Big Brother, and it's really fun to see all these different people coming together trying to strategize, and it's actually very stressful. I already know that I could not do Big Brother. Like, I cannot do, like that much strategy. Like, so it's just shout out to all the people that are participating in Big Brother. Because, baby, I couldn't do it. And shout out to Jasmine. I'm hoping that she takes home a quarter of $1 million. No, I'm sorry, $750,000. Okay. Let's root for our girl. The next thing that I watched this weekend that had me in tears, okay, was Dwayne Wade's Life Unexpected documentary. I love documentaries so much. It's definitely a tie between documentaries and like TV series. And I needed something good to watch, something that could evoke something in me. Like I just needed something inspirational. And the Dwayne Wade doc was definitely that. The things that I liked about it most was that, like, Dwayne Wade is clearly and was clearly very internally motivated. His mother was on drugs, but once he found basketball, it was over. Like, he got very serious about that, and it showed up in his work ethic. It showed up in where basketball was able to take him, which was the NBA, right? And he ended up having a child very early on in his college career, getting married, so he had some strife when it was time to get divorced after he was in the NBA. And I love seeing how serious he was about getting custody of his kids. He was not playing. He wanted his kids. He wanted to make sure he saw his kids. He was very serious about being in his kids' life. And I just thought that was really beautiful. And he even got his nephew too, because one of his children, Zaire Wade, and the nephew were the same age, and he wanted them to have each other. So you could tell that he really loved being a father, and it just touched me so much. And it seemed like he was very grounded from childhood. Like even though he had the strife that he had, it seemed like he was a very grounded human being. Now, what I also love to see is that even though his dad wasn't in his life too much, when he became a father, he had more grace for his own father, and so they were able to, grow their relationship. What I also think was great about this documentary is that they've been recording Dwayne Wade and following Dwayne Wade for over 10 years. So there's a lot of good quality camera footage here, a lot of great moments, a lot of unexpected moments, and a lot of moments that are like, yo, I'm so glad y'all were there. Like the moment that, Chris Bosh and LeBron James went to play in Miami, right? So you get to actually see in real time Dwayne Wade's reaction to them coming to Miami to play with him. And it was just so exciting and so special. I was over there like, yes, I was just excited as him because the footage and everything just felt so authentic. The other things that we get to see and that Dwayne talks about is, of course, like his infidelity and having another child, and we get to see just how much he loves Gabrielle Union and how fun their relationship is and how they seem to be meant for each other. It's so beautiful. We also get to see the evolution of Zaya Wade, right? Like, and how Dwayne was dealing with her evolution and her transition. And you get to see this little clip of Zaya just being so honest about being who she wants to be. And it's just so admirable. And I think that it's a testament to his parenting and how much he loved his children. At the end of the documentary, I was just so damn happy for Dwayne Wade and everything that he's gotten, and I was bawling. Like, I was crying so much because it was just such a beautiful story, and it was such a vulnerable story, and if you like your emotions to be, like, evoked and, like, pulled out, if you like something to trigger, some tears, this is a really great documentary, and I love that we get to see the ups and we get to see the downs and we get to see, a really well-rounded version of his life. 10 out of 10. You gotta watch that on Disney Plus. All right, y'all. So the last show that I'm gonna be talking about today is The Captain. It's a ESPN 30 for 30 documentary. I love an ESPN documentary. Like, sports documentaries are some of the best things that I've ever watched. And so it's a documentary series about the rise and career of Derek Jeter, who played for the New York Yankees. Now, I don't know too much about baseball. I've been to 2 games in my entire life, but I love a documentary about a legend, about somebody who is excellent at what they do, and Derek Jeter seems to be that one. So he was a shortstop. He played for the New York Yankees, who his whole life he wanted to play for the Yankees, even though he lived in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So it was really cool to see footage of him very young with his New York Yankees gear. He was very committed to like being the best and playing for the Yankees. And that ended up being the team that drafted him. Okay, talk about divinity. That made me tear up because I love divinity. Like, I love seeing humans take control of their life. Now, there has only been a few, maybe 3 episodes released. It might be a four-parter. And I don't even know, is it 2 or 3 episodes, child? Am I lying? It might be 2 episodes that I've seen, but it's really good. We really get to, in these first 2 episodes, learn a lot about Derek Jeter in his early years. And I love this, again, like Dwayne Wade's documentary, there's a lot of home footage and real footage from his early baseball games. So we're getting to see him in his excellence at such a young age. We talk about race, of course, in this documentary series because Derek Jeter is mixed. He grew up with both of his parents. Both of his parents loved him so much. And so we got to talk about that, right? And like what that looks like coming up in the baseball sports field with a very white owner who was very racist, right? Who didn't really see and understand the greatness that was Derek Jeter. But thankfully, he had other people that were in the leadership part of the New York Yankees that saw that and that really helped him to become better and believed in him. Now, I think the craziest part of all of this is that he won a World Series in his first year. Now, if that ain't greatness, if that isn't a sign of him being great, I don't know what is. Like, your first year, Yankees were not even thought about to win a World Series, right? Let alone to be in the playoffs, okay? But they won a World Series Derek Jeter's first year, and that's when everything just kind of like blew up for him. So we're really starting to see what his life looked like after he was in the league. His docuseries has made me really think about my craft, right? Like, how can I become more excellent? What do I need to do to master my, because he was always practicing, right? So it's such a good documentary. If you like sports documentaries or if you like a good documentary about a legend, this is a great one. It's The Captain. It's called The Captain, and I'm watching it on Hulu. I would definitely suggest this one. All right, y'all. That's it for this episode. That's it for what I am watching. If you like this episode, please leave a review and rate the podcast because it helps us grow our communities. It helps us find more girls who are working behind the scenes, okay? Who can hear and see themselves in the stories that we tell here on the podcast and in the things that I talk about and in the things that I share. And if you're not subscribed to the podcast, you're going to want to be, okay? Because my upcoming interviews and the upcoming episodes are just going to be so good, so brilliant, so deep, so fly, I'm telling y'all, okay? So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that follow button on your podcast app because I'm excited, okay? Thank y'all so much. Talk to you soon.